So let's go ahead and do our appointments. We have a couple of them. 7.11, consideration of appointments to the Lake County Building Board of Appeals. And Director Turner, if you'd like to come up, please. Good afternoon.
At a previous board meeting, when we presented a draft of proposed membership for the Building Board of Appeals, the board wanted us to sort of expand the net and start looking at possible options in District 2, as well as other options that were available. So the staff did that. We reached out to the contact you recommended in District 2 a couple times, but didn't get any response. However, it did result in a couple minor adjustments as far as the applications that were received at the clerk of the board's office. And, excuse me, there is a typographical error in that memo, which is not my fault. Just calling it out for today, but
It's auto
it
text.
says, right, could be, yes, let's call it that. So it says that there are 15 members, but actually there's just 5. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, though.
I was curious about that one.
Yeah. So there are 5, and we do have 5 applications, and we welcome the board's consideration.
All right, thank you very much for bringing these to us. Any comments or questions about individual applications?
Is there any, does this have to be appointed by a supervisorial district? I know they listed it on the application, but basically this is a countywide thing, right?
The building code does cite areas of expertise that are recommended, because this isn't just like, it's not like an at-large position. We require a certain level of understanding and expertise of the building codes in order to properly consider appeals of building decisions as they come forward. And so these people that are before you do have that expertise.
3 of them just happen to be in District 5.
Well, I guess my question is, if it's a statutory committee, what are the membership requirements by statute?
To the best of my understanding, historically, as I've been with the county, there is not a district ratio or limitation.
There's no pre-existing bylaws that govern this group? No. So it's a fully statutory committee, so it's all based on understanding of building codes,
Correct.
No other criteria?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further comments? All right, let's go ahead and open it up for public. Anyone wish to speak on this item? And hearing none, I am perfectly fine with the list presented and looking
All at
forward-
once or separately?
Since it involves the same committee group, that all of the names can be set at once for appointment on the same, in the same motion.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Jeffrey Foster, Autumn Lancaster, Paul Blues, Chief Wrights, and Russ Jonas to the Lake County Building Board of Appeals.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You have a Building Board of Appeals with some good knowledge, and it's not us anymore.
Thank you. And it's been many, many years, yeah, since we've had an outside building board of appeals. So this is exciting.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
If you could please remain where you are, we're going to go over the rest of your items. 7.12, consideration of appointment to the Southern Lake County seat of the Cannabis Ordinance Task Force. Director Turner.
Thank you. As this is an appointment from the board, I don't have any recommendations regarding who you do appoint, but I'm here if you have any questions. I can tell you a little bit about Cannabis Ordinance Task Force, but you probably already...
Let's stick to the application.
Go right ahead.
Since that's what's on the agenda. Appreciate the enthusiasm. Any comments about the applications we've received? Supervisor Pyska.
One of them doesn't live in the area.
Yeah, one has been,
So that one's removed.
yeah,
Which one's that?
it's between Monica Rosenthal and John Kelly. because the other one, I believe, if I looked at it before, it was from Upper Lake.
Upper Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
Ms. Rosenthal also did submit an application for the next item, the General Plan Advisory Committee.
Okay. And so I did look, I know that we spoke of this when we crafted the original membership of the task force. So I did ask for a current membership list to kind of take a look at who would be a good fit for a balanced approach. And in my opinion, I'd like to maybe see John Kelly being propelled into the position.
I agree. Appointed.
And so I will open it up for the public, because I don't believe I've done that. Any comments? Anyone wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for action.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint John Kelly to the Cannabis Task Force.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 713, Clerk of the Board, oops, that's the sponsor. Consideration of appointments to the General Plan Advisory Committee, and Director Turner.
Thank you. This advisory committee will meet about 5 times over the next 3 years to offer advice or input, recommendations to the board regarding the general plan update and all 8 local area plan updates.
All
I
right.
was really excited to see a robust response
Yeah.
of applications, so I know you guys have a tough decision.
Looks like there's still some seats that we don't have applicants from,
I did not see a response for tribal.
or water.
Well, actually, Robert Stark comes from Water District, though I don't know
He's
that he
retired. specified
specified that. Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah, and then education, because Ms. Lieferman is also retired from education. Also, cannabis industry was not marked.
Well, starting
Fire
with,
district?
yeah, Fire District, Chief Duncan, he applied as open.
Gotcha, as member at
And
large.
so I think that it's appropriate to appoint him for the fire. And going down to the homeowners association,
We have Hartley.
well, yes, and we
Marty
have.
Arberg.
I-
Yeah.
Did you want me to talk?
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so I recommend Phil Hartley. He is very active in my district with the with Riviera West, but because he works so closely with the other 3 HOAs in the area, Kelseyville, Riviera, Buckingham, and Riviera Heights, I think there's really good synergy there. I'd like to recommend him for that role. And then
I made an
for-
error, sorry, when I told you that education was vacant. Marty Araberg also.
Yes,
School
that's-
board director, yeah.
That's why I was thinking we could have both of them on, since we have 2 applicants for HOAs. And then my suggestion for the environmental group is Roberta Lyons. We have 1 applicant for the seniors, then that would be Betsy. For business association, I'm recommending Weston because he's not only with the KBA, but he sits with our Workforce Alliance Committee. And then Sharon Zoller, I don't think that we could have a better representative there because of her experience sitting as the California president for California Women in Ag. And then I guess we can talk about our district recommendations after, maybe?
I would like to see or discuss at least maybe Donna Makowitz for the environmental group, just because trying to spread it out all around the lake, making sure that there's some equity in disbursement of where these individuals are coming from.
Well, and I was going to pitch Mary Jo for that spot, too, so.
I mean, they're all great potential members. Sorry.
And so Which one are we talking about here?
The
So
environmental.
Environmental, so we
Environmental.
have 1, 2, 3, 4 different people, right? Or 5?
Yeah.
We have 5.
Can I ask a quick question before we do the math? This is going to be a Brown Act committee, so these are going to be in-person meetings for the most part, even if some hybrid options are allowed for attendance by members of the public.
I did consult with county council on that issue. This is an advisory committee. It is not Brown Act compliant. The basis for that and support comes from the government code, which excludes advisory committees that have less than a quorum of the legislative body. As this will have 0 members of the legislative body, it qualifies. It is also not a standing committee in that it does not have a permanent duration, nor does it have continuing subject matter jurisdiction. It will be considered, from my understanding, it will be considered as an advisory committee, which would allow people to, or actual voting members to attend remotely.
Okay, so back to the environmental, so we have Donna, who else? Deborah, Katie, Schmidt, Hopper, and Mary Jo, and Roberta. Those are the 5 that are applying for that one seat?
Yes, that's what it looks like, at least as their identification.
Okay. And you said you said Roberta, and you said Mary Jo, and you said Donna. And I knew there was 5, so I knew we were going to have to talk about it. I mean, Donna's in my district. You know, I've worked with her on numerous things. I think that I'll just go ahead and say that in my district I have 2 that applied, and I'm going to go with Denise Rushing. And I think that she covers quite a bit of what I think Donna might be concerned about. So, yeah, so I'm open for the environmental group.
Denise? Yeah.
Denise for
That'd be great.
District 3, for sure, yeah.
Okay.
Do you mean District 3 at large or District
large.
3? Okay.
Yeah, it's at large, right?
Oh, do you want Denise for your,
What's the difference? There's 2 spots for that, or?
Yeah, one of them is to focus on environmental, and one of them is to focus on District 3 as far as who they represent.
Oh, that's what I meant. I just want her, she's not environmental. She didn't apply for that position. She applied
who
for.
do you want for environmental?
No, well, what I'm saying is I really kind of feel that she'll kind of cover some of the things I feel that Donna might be concerned about.
You get both. We can have, you get a district at large and there's an environmental seat.
At large, or is it like my district, is it district-wide? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not like an environmental for District 3? Because you mentioned District 3, and I was like,
I'm just looking for, as we build, because there's 10 individuals that represent specific topics, and then 5 that represent one for each district. And I'm aiming for those 10 to be as spread out all around the county to provide perspective on the overall general plan.
okay.
My single comment, I think every other person who has submitted for environmental group is absolutely a capable individual to speak for that topic from no matter where they're from. Just, I was looking for some equity in geography.
I see.
Quick process question. Did we limit each applicant to one category that they could apply for? Because that's what I see on the list.
Some of them have multiple, for example, Arenberg has homeowners association, education, and member at large District 1.
It was helpful in the applications that had multiple possible categories, since that gives you additional flexibility.
And so at this moment, 2 would remain vacant until further notice, since there's no one that,
3.
sorry, I said 2. The tribal membership, the second category, would remain vacant.
Water and
Water.
cannabis.
Water, I think we said Stark.
No, he's retired.
Oh. And who's the business association? Is there only
Weston.
one? Weston versus Terrell?
What's he applying for?
Weston's my recommendation.
Now, Weston is very involved in multiple things, and you mentioned that as well with the Workforce Alliance, and I think he's trying to expand even further than the reach that he has currently, and I think this is a good opportunity. And you said Zoller for traditional or conventional.
Yeah.
Cannabis vacant at this moment in time. And I would suggest that we leave District 1 vacant until Supervisor Simon can make his decision on who that individual is. If that's okay with the rest of the board.
Yes. Yes, and so I guess I didn't finish my environmental, huh? Did I? Did we cover that? Because
We haven't picked,
I've been dancing around on it. Sorry. I guess I'll go ahead and I'll go with your recommendation with Roberta.
Roberta?
Yeah.
And come Margot for District 4.
So, yeah, that's the only one I got.
Obviously, District 2 vacant. I'm going to bring an application from Fawn Williams, who's on the Planning Commission for the City of Clear Lake. And I know you mentioned Paul Duncan, instead of being member at large, he's for the Fire District.
Yeah.
Who's your member at large?
April.
Oh, Liferman? Okay. And then I believe we skipped over Senior Services. Betsy Kahn, I believe, is the only one that requested that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And you said for conventional ag, what was your choice?
Sharon?
I had a different choice. Rebecca was my choice, but
I would support that choice as well.
Oh, I'm going to double down on Sharon. So,
you too?
Yeah.
Well,
because
you guys are on the ag committee, so
she's a farmer.
I'll go with it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I love Rebecca, and she, and she does speak on behalf of the ag community with the Farm Bureau, but we're looking for somebody that has the farming experience.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go with it.
Okay. The rest at this moment would remain blank until further notice, but we have Fire District, Duncan, Homeowners Association, Hartley, Education, Arnberg, Betsy Kahn for Senior Center Services or Senior Support Services, Weston, that's his first name, but Weston for Business Association. Looks like we settled on Zoller for Conventional Agriculture, and then we have the 3 members at large for each one, Rushing, Kambara, and Liferman.
What about District 2?
District 2, again, I need to get you an application for Fawn Williams. But at this moment in time, I can't approve what hasn't been applied for.
So if the board likes, we can, we'll bring the remaining vacancies back at a future board meeting.
And I would suggest it can be like any other committee applications that we receive, so it doesn't have to be its own separate. I don't know if that's a better way to go or not.
Separate, what?
Right.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
And I just want to thank everybody for applying. This is such a big project, and we can't do this without the community's input, and all of these people have offered up a significant amount of time. So whether or not they were selected, I just really thank them for applying and being committed to our communities.
So with the list I just provided, let's go ahead and open that up for public comment to get any public input. Seeing none, we'll bring it back.
I just want to say that for the folks that are, applying in my district and throughout the whole county for this, I appreciate you applying, and I apologize to the folks that were in my district that wanted to apply as well and didn't get chosen. It was very hard for me to make these decisions. As you see, I danced around quite a bit, but lots of hard choices and lots of good choices to pass up. So.
And I'll just add, for those people who didn't get chosen, you're welcome. We're going to give you lots of available time. You'll still be able to provide input during any number of public scoping sessions and area plans. But we're just putting the voting members on there that are going to take votes up and down on certain advisory things they bring to the board. So nobody's going to get left out in this. Just some people will get a seat, and some people will be standing up at the microphone or zooming in, it sounds like. So
I will make one last argument. As I'm going through this is very heavy on District 5, and just think that Rebecca Harper, I believe, lives in Upper Lake, if I'm correct,
No, I think she lives in Lucerne
or Lucerne.
or Conotay or something like that.
I was close. Missed it, but I was close. And I just think that, again, getting that perspective from multiple communities, I mean, we have Duncan, Hartley, Weston, Zoller, and the District 5 representative, when there's 10 other representatives for these topics, and 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 10 are from District 5, it just seems very centered around one specific perspective and need of a community. And I want to make sure that this general plan really looks at the needs of all of the communities all around the county. And I think that it's a mistake to have so many of one when there are some good applicants from other topics around the county in different districts. And I believe that right now you only have 2, I believe,
4. What do you mean 2?
as far as who was chosen.
Yeah, Betsy and, yeah.
Well, why don't you, there's a lot of the environmental applicants, but I feel very strongly that Sharon should be our ag rep.
Well, then I'm willing to go with Donna.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, and before you do that,
Unless you
I would just throw in, I appreciate the concern, but that's something we addressed during, we have 5 at-larges that basically they're doing the heavy lifting on geographic, and then we dived in on all these special niches that we wanted to give input as well. So even if some of these other categories do end up focused in a particular district, we're not asking them to chime in on District 5 stuff. We're asking them to provide their expertise within the category that we so carefully crafted this advisory committee to do. So that's not to say they can't do both. They can, advocate for regional concerns on top of the niche that they were appointed to this for. But if we're going to be taking a look at, are they going to fairly represent this or that district, then the only people we should really be applying that metric to is our at-larges. And I'm triple downing on Sharon Zoller. Thank you.
Donna?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I was fine with it earlier, but I just, you said someone else too, though, I thought.
Mary Jo.
Mary Jo. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll go with that.
Donna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure wish there was more District 2 people to apply so that Bruno wouldn't have to.
I'm not at all worried about that, because
Yeah.
the majority of it is right within the city of Clear Lake, and so they need to focus on Clear Lake's general plan. But we'll get an applicant, so at least I have my at-large. I'm definitely looking, and I have the smallest geographic district, you have
Right.
the largest, and so
Right.
that's
And
where I'm trying to balance that out.
Thank you for that. I considered it, and I'm fine with the Donna, but I was fine either way. Yeah.
So who wants to provide a motion to approve?
You have the list. I'll do a so moved all day long after you read your list.
I would appreciate just a little clarification on who has
Okay.
got consensus for environmental group.
Environmental would be Donna Makowitz.
Okay, because I had 2 for Roberta, 1 for Donna, 1 Mary Jo. Denise Rett, no, she's not there. Okay, so are we settled then on
Donna.
Donna? Great, thank you. Roberta.
Okay, so we have, do you need me to go over the list?
Would you mind, I can read you the list that I have and let me know if you agree?
Perfect.
All right. Fire District, Paul Duncan. We're skipping Tribal, bring that back. Homeowners Association, Phil Hartley. Education, Marty Araberg. Water District remains vacant. Environmental Group, Donna Makowitz. Senior Support Services, Betsy Kahn. Business Association, Western Seaford. Conventional Agriculture, Sharon Zoller. Cannabis Industry, vacant at this time. Districts 3, 4, and 5 are, I just stuck it all together. Denise Rushing, Margot Kambara,
April Liferman.
and April Leiferman. Leiferman.
And with that, I move to appoint the qualified applicants as just ably listed by Director Turner to the General Plan Advisory Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.